You step outside, ready to take a casual stroll, and then realize there's nowhere to walk. Just endless highways, chaos at every intersection, and sidewalks that disappear like a bad magic trick. These aren't just bad cities for walking, they're pedestrian nightmares. Buckle up, because you might need a helmet for this one. We take walking for granted. Until you land in a city where it feels like a contact sport. Picture stepping outside only to dodge speeding cars, leap over potholes, and weave through street vendors while inhaling enough exhaust fumes to shorten your lifespan. In some cities, walking isn't just difficult, it's dangerous. So, which places turn a simple stroll into a survival challenge? Stick around because one of these cities is so brutal, even the locals have given up on sidewalks. We dug into city maps, safety reports, and real-life horror stories to uncover the absolute worst cities for pedestrians. Some places have sidewalks that lead to nowhere. Others have crosswalks ignored by drivers like they're invisible. And one is so bad that even crossing the street is basically playing real-life Frogger with your life. Keep watching, because the worst city on this list might shock you. Number 10. Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome to Johannesburg, the economic heartbeat of South Africa, known as much for its vibrant energy as for its notoriously dangerous streets. The weather in Johannesburg can be deceptively pleasant. Sunny skies, mild winters, and warm summers. But don't let the perfect climate fool you. Johannesburg's streets are dominated by fast-moving vehicles, often driven recklessly, turning each intersection into a nerve-wracking challenge. And public transportation? It's unreliable at best, forcing many pedestrians into the hectic fray, dodging minibuses, taxis, and impatient drivers barreling through red lights. Johannesburg has one of the highest pedestrian accident rates in Africa, with more than 40% of road fatalities involving pedestrians, making every crossing a potentially deadly gamble. Adding to the danger, crime rates are high. Walking alone at night isn't just risky, it's often unthinkable. Surprisingly, despite being South Africa's richest city, Johannesburg's infrastructure still heavily favors cars, leaving sidewalks cracked, broken, or missing entirely. But hold on. If you think this is bad, the next city turns its sidewalks into a chaotic, high-stakes obstacle course. And pedestrians, they're just trying to survive. Number 9. Bangkok, Thailand. You step onto a sidewalk in Bangkok expecting an easy stroll, and bam! You're dodging sizzling street food carts, parked motorcycles, and an endless maze of merchandise spilling out from crowded storefronts. Walking here is like navigating a hectic obstacle course in scorching heat and humidity that clings to your skin. Traffic lights? They're more of a gentle suggestion than a rule. With 10 million residents and almost as many cars, congestion is everywhere, pushing pedestrians into a chaotic blend of engines, horns, and shouting vendors. Bangkok is one of Asia's highest pedestrian injury rates, making each step feel like a gamble. Even crossing the street means risking life and limb, with drivers more focused on weaving through traffic than looking out for walkers. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more intense, they do. The next city doesn't just make walking difficult, it makes it outright dangerous. Number 8. Mexico City, Mexico. Mexico City. Sure, it's historic and culturally rich, but step onto its crowded streets and you're immediately reminded why it's on this list. Thick smog hangs in the air, wrapping the city in a murky haze that leaves your lungs desperate for fresh air. Drivers treat red lights like a race countdown. It's not uncommon to feel the wind of a speeding car narrowly missing you. In fact, Mexico City consistently ranks among the most dangerous places for pedestrians globally, with roughly 1,000 pedestrian deaths every year. Streets here are buzzing with nearly 9 million residents rushing to get somewhere fast, leaving pedestrians scrambling for safety. Even sidewalks feel like a war zone, cracked, narrow, and blocked by parked vehicles, street vendors, or sudden drops into construction sites. But that is nothing compared to what's coming next. An urban jungle so packed, so relentless, that walking feels like wading into a never-ending sea of chaos. Number 7. Mumbai, India. Welcome to Mumbai, The city that never pauses, let alone stops. Imagine squeezing through narrow, crowded alleyways filled with honking taxis, overflowing markets, and throngs of people hustling at every corner. Mumbai crams over 20 million residents into a city where sidewalks are either non-existent or overtaken by makeshift stalls. Traffic is relentless, honking incessantly as if horns are the city's official soundtrack. Pedestrians are practically invisible here, with cars, rickshaws, and buses squeezing through impossibly tight spaces. The air is thick, heavy with the scent of spices, street food, and exhaust fumes. Mumbai is dangerous for pedestrians, contributing significantly to India's 200,000 annual road deaths. And if you think this was wild, buckle up. The next city takes pedestrian madness to a whole new level, where even stopping to breathe is a risky move. Number 6. Cairo, Egypt. Step onto Cairo's streets and you're immediately sucked into a whirlwind of chaos. Cars zoom past you at dizzying speeds, ignoring traffic lights and pedestrians like they're merely decorations. Crossing the street feels less like walking and more like a live-action video game. One wrong move and it's game over. Air heavy with smog hangs thick, tinged with the scent of car exhaust, dust, and spices from nearby street vendors. Sidewalks are crumbling or occupied by parked cars, forcing you directly into the frantic traffic. With a metropolitan population of over 20 million, the streets always feel crowded, frenetic, and overwhelming. Cairo has some of the highest rates of pedestrian accidents in Africa, largely due to aggressive drivers ignoring traffic signals. The scorching Egyptian sun only adds to the discomfort. Temperatures routinely soar above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But what's next makes even Cairo look tame. Imagine a city where stepping outside is like playing a high-speed game of survival, with no guarantees you'll make it across in one piece. If you think these cities are tough for pedestrians, wait until you see the places that don't just make it hard to walk, they don't want you there at all. We're uncovering the countries that actually don't want tourists. And trust me, some of them will shock you. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Number 5. Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos hits you with a wave of intensity the second your feet touch the pavement. Streets here are a battleground between pedestrians and vehicles, jam-packed with chaotic traffic, honking horns, and drivers weaving in and out like it's a high-speed chase. Sidewalks? Good luck finding one. They're often claimed by vendors hawking everything from clothes to sizzling street food. With temperatures routinely soaring into the 90s, the humid air feels like it's pressing down on your shoulders. Lagos is home to over 21 million people, making it one of the most densely populated cities in Africa. And this density translates into fierce competition for every square inch of road space. Pedestrian safety? Good luck. The city has a staggering 5,000 road accidents every year, with motorbikes, known locally as Okadas, zooming by just inches away. Crossing the street in Lagos? Less of a commute, more of a survival game. But trust me, the next city takes pedestrian chaos to an entirely new level. Number 4. Dhaka, Bangladesh. With nearly 23 million people squeezed into its cramped streets, Dhaka feels like it's bursting at the seams. Walking through the city is like navigating an obstacle course blindfolded. Roads packed with rickshaws, pedestrians, buses, and an impossible sea of humanity flowing in every direction. Horns honk relentlessly, creating a symphony of urban madness. The pollution thickens the humid air, choking your lungs as you dodge between vehicles and street stalls. Dhaka averages nearly 12,000 road fatalities annually, making pedestrian life a terrifying gamble. Sidewalks are practically non-existent, taken over by street markets, parked cars, or crumbling infrastructure. And did you know Dhaka consistently ranks among the world's least livable cities? And yet it's still not the worst. The next city is so flooded with motorbikes, cars, and chaos that stepping off the curb might just be the riskiest thing you'll ever do. Number 3. Hanoi, Vietnam. Hanoi, charming and historical. At least that's the tourist brochure version. On the ground, however, crossing the street in Hanoi feels like stepping into an action movie. Motorcycles whiz past by the thousands, inches from pedestrians with zero hesitation, barely acknowledging your existence. Traffic signals? More like colorful suggestions, as bikes, scooters, and cars flood intersections, narrowly missing each other. The air buzzes with exhaust fumes and noise, keeping your adrenaline pumping with every cautious step. Sidewalks double as motorbike parking lots or open-air kitchens. Vietnam's capital city has nearly 5 million motorbikes crammed onto narrow streets designed long before such traffic existed. Tourists often joke that crossing a street in Hanoi should come with a Medal of Bravery. But if you think this is extreme, the next city makes Hanoi look like a pedestrian paradise. The roads are so unforgiving, so impossibly congested, that walking feels like stepping into a war zone. Number 2. Manila, Philippines. Manila is a city where sidewalks aren't just rare, they're practically mythical. The city is crammed with 14 million people, where each breath draws in exhaust fumes and humidity thick enough to make your skin feel permanently sticky. Cars, buses, and jeepneys jostle chaotically for every inch. And pedestrians? They're basically dodging vehicles with zero margin for error. Manila consistently ranks among the top cities worldwide for traffic congestion, with residents losing an average of 257 hours, almost 11 full days, stuck in gridlock every year. As if cars weren't enough, street vendors spill onto what little sidewalk exists. Crossing intersections means taking a deep breath, summoning courage, and sprinting while hoping you reach the other side in one piece. And if you think you could simply rely on public transport, think again. Overcrowded buses and trains are already bursting at the seams, pushing even more people onto these dangerous streets. But nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to number 1. The next city doesn't just make walking difficult, it turns every single step into a calculated risk. Number 1. Jakarta, Indonesia. Welcome to Jakarta, where traffic isn't just bad, it's catastrophic. This metropolis of 30 million feels like it was built without a single pedestrian in mind. The roar of endless cars, motorbikes, and buses hits you like a tidal wave, drowning out every other sound. Jakarta's roads are legendary for their dysfunction, with average speeds dropping to a snail-like 10 kilometers an hour, about 6 miles per hour during peak times. Pedestrians are left to fend for themselves, sidewalks are non-existent or completely blocked by street stalls, parked motorcycles, and makeshift cafes. To cross a street here is to gamble with your life. Jakarta records thousands of pedestrian injuries annually, many of them fatal. Air pollution levels regularly spike into hazardous territory, with smog cloaking the city in a gray haze that stings your lungs. So, you've seen cities where walking is practically a survival skill. But what about islands where just stepping foot could be your last mistake? From snake-infested shores to radioactive wastelands, these are the most dangerous islands in the world. Click here to watch now before planning your next vacation. So, there you have it, the world's least walkable cities, where stepping outside feels more like an extreme sport than a casual stroll. Would you dare to navigate these urban jungles? Drop your pick for the most pedestrian-unfriendly city in the comments. I want to hear your wildest street crossing stories.